The millionaire farmer's daughter kicks him out, but what he finds changes everything. 2 million. From the very first moment, an eerie silence hung over the old farmhouse, broken only by the faint rustle of leaves stirred by an unseen breeze. Strange shadows flickered across the cracked walls, as if the house itself held secrets desperate to be uncovered. Every creak of the floorboards echoed like a whispered warning, while outside, the distant howl of a lone wolf sent chills down the spine. Something was undeniably wrong, a hidden truth lurking just beneath the surface, waiting to unravel. Claire Mitchell stood there, heart pounding, hands trembling. The rain hammered against the weathered roofs and slapped the broken windows. Her breath caught in her throat as she stepped cautiously into the shadowy attic, that cramped little space stuffed with decades of dust and forgotten memories. The smell of dry rot mixed with old paper filled her nose, each breath sharp and bitter. Lightning flashed outside, casting stark white light through the dirty glass, revealing an old wooden box tucked behind loose floorboards. She knelt slowly, fingers trembling as she pried open the rusty latch. Inside, yellowed parchment papers, brittle and fading, spilled over her trembling hands. Her eyes raced over the faded ink. Documents claiming a secret family inheritance worth $2 million, hidden far beyond the sprawling Texan ranch she'd been banished from. And then a name stabbed through the smudges. Ethan. Ethan, her ex, the private investigator who'd tangled their lives with more than just a messy breakup. His name, there, in black and white, twisted the story she thought she'd escaped. Claire's chest tightened. Her mind reeled. How had this stayed hidden all these years? Was her father's cold, hard refusal to let her live his way part of some brutal cover-up? The old wounds flared, raw and angry, the years of silence, the slammed doors, the bitter arguments rooting like poison between them. Outside, thunder rolled low, shaking the fragile windows. The house groaned as if warning her to flee. But she couldn't. This was the moment, the fragile line between past resentments and desperate hope. Claire felt the weight of danger pressing in. She knew her father would stop at nothing to bury this story, to keep power and money locked tight in his calloused hands, clawing away her future. And Ethan? Would he help? Or was this another complication she couldn't handle? A sudden ping from her phone jerked her back to the present. A cryptic message, no sender name, blinked on the screen. Not everyone is who they say. Watch your back. The truth runs deeper than you think. Claire's breath hitched, heart hammering as the shadows seemed to press closer. Someone close knew more. Someone watching. Trust was a crumbling myth now. Who stood with her? Who betrayed? The attic, the rain, the secrets, all tangled into a knot of fear, pain, and something like hope, fierce and trembling. Claire swallowed hard and looked out through the cracked window, the city lights of Austin flickering in the distance. Could she untangle the lies and fight for her freedom? Or would her past destroy her before she ever saw tomorrow? Hey, before we continue with this incredible story, I need to give you an important alert. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube removed their subscriptions without warning. Just take a quick look at the red button down below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content coming your way. And since you're here, drop that powerful like. That helps me so much with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love meeting everyone. Amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. If you like stories about farmers, about everyday life on the farm, and want to know what really happens in the daily lives of the biggest farmers in the world, the hidden stories of the richest owners, and the secrets of the farm girls that the media doesn't reveal, check out our virtual book with the most famous and secret stories from the farm. Click on the first link in the video comments and get yours now. Claire's hands shook as she stared at the message glowing on her phone. No. Name, no hint who sent it, just a warning. Her breath hitched, heart pounding so loud it felt like thunder inside her chest. She swallowed and took a slow step back, the attic room suddenly colder, the shadows deeper. Lightning cracked again, sharp and blinding, and in that flash, the dusty wooden floor beneath her creaked, louder this time, like the house itself was breathing, waiting. She glanced down and in the harsh light caught a strange glint near the box. Something metal. Sharp, confused, she reached out, fingers grazing a thin envelope tucked under the planks. It was old, edges tattered, sealed with dark red wax. She couldn't peel away. Her pulse quickened. She bit her lip and broke the seal. Inside was a photo, faded, cracked in places, but clear enough to freeze her spine. Two girls, maybe 8 or 9 years old, standing side by side, grinning. One had her father's rugged face, calm eyes, blonde hair. The other looked exactly like Claire. But beside her was someone else, another little girl, dark-eyed, with Claire's smile but different hair. Longer, black, tangled. Her breath caught, chest tightening so much it was hard to think. Claire felt as if the floor had dropped. Then a slow realization slid into focus, cold and sharp. That girl wasn't in any family story she knew, because she never heard about her, never knew she existed. A loud thud downstairs shattered the silence. Claire jumped, heart racing. The house trembled, as if someone heavy moved through it with purpose, with fire in their feet. Her hands trembled wildly while she shoved the photo back in the envelope. The attic door creaked. Footsteps, slow, dragging. Then a voice, low, impossible to place, but soaked in hate. Claire, you're in over your head. She froze. Recognizing it was her father made the air thicken, hardening her throat. But then he said something else that shattered her world. Your mother, she never left. She's been here all along. You've been lied to your entire life. Her knees buckled. Her mind screamed in confusion, pain crashing like a tsunami. Her mother? The woman she thought died when Claire was a toddler? The mother who abandoned her to cold silence? No, that's not true, Claire whispered, trembling. You lied to me. Footsteps climbed the attic stairs. Suddenly, a shadow filled the narrow doorway. And there, behind the faint glow of lightning, was her mother. But something was wrong. Her eyes burned bright, too bright, wild, Not the gentle woman Claire remembered in torn photographs or hazy stories whispered in the dark. Her mother's lips curved into a knowing, terrifying smile as she stepped forward. "Hello, Claire. It's time you learned the truth," she said quietly, voice low, dangerous. Claire's heart slammed against her ribs, cold sweat slick on her skin. Why did you hide? Why did you disappear?" Her mother's smile twisted, eyes darkening like a storm. "Because, my darling, some truths are too dangerous for one person alone, and some debts are paid only in blood." Lightning exploded outside. The attic plunged into darkness. The house groaned around them, secrets suffocating the space. Claire stood frozen. The $2 million. The secret inheritance. A sudden sick question clawed up her throat. What had her family really been running from? Who was telling the truth? And above all, how deep did the darkness go? Her mother reached out a hand, inches from Claire's face. Then the phone buzzed again. Another message. No sender. "Look behind you." Claire's breath hitched. She spun, heart hammering, but the attic was empty. Or was it? Something unseen slipped past her. A whisper, a shadow, and a single word burned into the silence. "Run." Claire's heart slammed as she spun around. The attic empty, except for the heavy, stale air that pressed against her skin like a hand squeezing tight. She swallowed hard. "Run," the message had said. But where? And from what? Her mother stepped forward, slow and sure, eyes gleaming with something wild, something Claire couldn't name. The house groaned again, as if breathing in time with her rattling chest. "Mom!" Claire's voice cracked, the word new and unfamiliar on her lips. "Why now? Why all this?" A dry laugh. "Because the truth has to come out, no matter the cost. You deserve to know what you've been wrapped in all your life." Her mother's smile sharpened, a blade folding open. Suddenly, a harsh click echoed from the shadows. The attic door slammed shut with a wood-rattling bang. Claire whipped around, but found no one. Panic clawed inside her chest, tightening muscles and squeezing her throat until words fled. "Dad?" she called, voice barely a breath. Silence, then the faintest rustle, a whisper against the cracked ceiling. Before she could react, a cold metal pressed to the back of her neck. Panic exploded. Her breath hitched, legs refusing to move as a voice she hadn't expected cut through the dark like a knife. "Not so fast, Claire." Low, familiar. "Ethan." She spun. Ethan stepped from the shadows, face unreadable, eyes cold steel, but clutching a gun she hadn't dreamed he'd pull on her. "Ethan, why?" Her voice cracked, shock ripping her apart. "You're supposed to help me!" His jaw clenched. "Help? No. You've been lied to your whole life. Your father isn't just a cold man. He's your jailer. And your mother? She's everything you feared." Claire's mind scrambled, hearing the words, but refusing their weight. "What are you talking about?" Ethan's eyes darkened. "The money, the secrets. They were never just about inheritance. Your family's history is a lie built on blood debts, and someone is still paying." Her chest tightened. "I don't understand." He stepped closer, voice low. Your mother didn't disappear. She was protecting you. But your father, he betrayed her. No, Claire whispered, shaking her head, tears pricking her eyes. That can't be true. Ethan lifted his gun, not at her, but toward the floor, and revealed a folded photo, old and torn. Claire snatched it from him. Her breath caught. Another girl, a shadow beside the younger Claire. This time, though, the second girl's face was blurred out, but the handwriting underneath shook her to the core. Lara Mitchell, missing since '97. Her throat burned. Lara was my sister? But Dad never said. Suddenly, the attic light flickered. Violently, Ethan's gaze snapped past Claire toward the stairs. Footsteps, heavy, hurried, pounded upward. Claire, listen to me, Ethan hissed. You're not safe, not here. And your father, he's coming for something. For you. For the truth. The attic door splintered. Her father's voice echoed, low and rage-soaked. You think you can run from family? Blood doesn't lie. And trails, they always lead back. Claire backed toward the corner, heart pounding so loud it eclipsed the storm outside. The shadows twisted, growing, swallowing the weak attic light. Her mother's voice drifted behind her, softer now, but no less chilling. The debts are paid, but not by blood, by silence. Claire turned, eyes wide and burning through the darkness. No, no more secrets. Her breath hitched like a crack. Tell me everything. Why did you hide Lara? Who killed her? And why am I the last one left? The room tilted, then snapped into a new reality, because standing beyond the doorway wasn't just her father. There were others, men with dark faces, grim shapes she didn't recognize, but whose chilling looks told violent stories. Then, the impossible. Her mother's hand flashed. A gun. Faster than lightning. A shot cracked through the attic's suffocating hush. Claire's scream ripped free as someone fell. But it wasn't her father, nor one of the strangers. It was Ethan. His body sloped, blood seeping into the aged floorboards. Claire stared, frozen, her world fracturing. Her mother's eyes locked onto hers, fierce, terrifying, and whispered as the attic trembled again. Trust no one, Claire, not even him. Her breath caught. Everything shattered in a single, deadly instant. Who was the real enemy? Who had been standing beside her, waiting to betray? And what did that mean for the 2 million and the secret sister who'd been erased from her life? Claire's chest tightened so hard she thought it would break. Her hands trembled uncontrollably. As dusk bled through the dirty window panes, the storm outside wasn't the only thing roaring now, because the truth was coming, and it was hungry. Claire's breath caught, her throat burning tight as Ethan collapsed, the dark blood blossoming slowly over the floorboards. The room spun, a cruel, dizzy twist, but she forced herself to stay standing, eyes locked on her mother's fierce glare. That smile, sharp and wild, sliced through the thick air. Then, suddenly, wham! The attic shuddered violently, a deep rumble shaking the wooden rafters like the house might break apart. Dust fell from the ceiling in choking clouds. Claire staggered, clutching the edge of the box for balance. Outside, the storm's howl turned savage, rain lashing harder, as if nature itself screamed warnings. A deafening crack split the night. The floor beneath Claire's feet groaned and then gave way. She fell, down, down into darkness. Pain exploded in her side as she hit cold earth hard. The dust and broken wood stung her skin, and a sharp breath ripped from her chest. Panic hammered loose inside her ribs. She was trapped, buried under the ruined attic floor. Above, muffled voices shouted. Heavy footsteps pounded the space, frantic and angry. Somewhere close, her father barked orders. Then, silence. Claire blinked, swallowing dry mouth. The stench was thick, old dirt, rotting wood, and something metallic. Her fingers scraped blindly, coming across cold chains twisted around her wrist. Panic snowballed. Chains? Her heart twisted sharp and sick. "You're awake!" came a rough voice, low and pain-worn. Not her father, not Ethan. Claire's head lolled to the side. In the dim light crushed between broken beams, she saw a face she couldn't recognize. Harsh, desperate eyes staring back. Who are you?" Claire croaked, voice a scared hiss. The man's lips twitched into a bitter smile. "Name's Marcus. Been stuck here. Longer than you." He coughed, eyes darting around the darkness like hunted. "Pray. You don't know what those rich bastards have done. Your father's not just cold. He's dangerous." Claire shuddered, the chains pulling tight on her wrist. "Why? Why me? Why Ethan?" Marcus swallowed hard, grimacing. "Because you're the key. The reason this whole damn mess started. Your family's secrets run deeper than you think." Her mind raced. Secrets? What secrets? Suddenly, Marcus's hand shot out, pulling a crumpled photo from inside his coat. Claire's breath stalled at the sight. It was her, but not the Claire she knew. This photo showed a different woman. Older, dark-haired, eyes like storm clouds. Smiling, but with fierce light that froze Claire's blood. "Who is this?" Her voice trembled. Marcus's jaw clenched. "That's you, the real you." Claire blinked, confusion crashing over her. "What? No, this can't be." He leaned closer, voice harsh. "You've been lied to your entire life. That girl, your father, took your identity, replaced you years ago." A cold scream caught in Claire's chest. "Replaced me? What do you mean?" Marcus's eyes flickered with pain. "That girl, your sister Lara, she disappeared. But then you arrived. Not as Claire Mitchell, but someone else. Someone planted. A clone." Silence crashed through the shadows. Claire's hands trembled violently. Her knees shook like a leaf. The weight of the chains was nothing compared to the weight settling in her chest. The blood, the lies, the sister she never knew, the mother acting like a stranger. Now this clone, a fake. Her entire life wasn't real. "Why? Why? How?" she whispered, voice breaking. Marcus's gaze was desperate. "Because your father's family built a lie to hide a scandal, one that could ruin them all. The 2 million? Just bait. The real story is about control, power, and hiding what they did to Lara, to you." The storm raged above, thunder, crashing like the beat of a ruthless heart. Claire's breath hitched. Too much, too fast. The true enemy wasn't just her father, not just the strangers, not even her own mother. It was everything she thought she was. Suddenly, a cold realization slammed into her. Could the woman standing in that shadowed attic doorway truly be her mother? Or was she another lie, too? The darkness pressed closer, and the real nightmare was just beginning. The darkness pressed closer. Claire's breath caught in her throat. The chains bit into her wrists, cold and unforgiving. Her heart hammered a wild beat that echoed in the hollow silence. The air tasted of dust and fear. She squinted, straining to make out the faint shape lurking just beyond the shadows. Then a voice broke through. The same wild, dangerous laugh that had haunted her nightmares. Real nightmare? Oh, my sweet Claire, you've barely scratched the surface. Her mother stepped forward, eyes burning brighter than before. But now something was different, something beyond wild. A sudden twitch in her lips, a cold, cruel edge slipping into her smile. I kept you safe, she said. All these years, from them, from him. Claire's chest tightened so hard it felt like an iron grip squeezing her ribs. From who? Mom, what are you talking about? The room vibrated, a low thrum shaking loose the last bits of light overhead. Then, with a sudden shatter, the wall behind her mother ripped apart, blasting inward. Dust exploded into the air. Faces appeared, men in black, cold eyes like knives. Claire gasped, trying to pull back chains that wouldn't budge. Panic smothered her. But then, something else happened. Her mother's face twisted. The fierce smile slipped, replaced by an expression riddled with pain. She raised her hands in a sudden, desperate gesture. "Stop!" she screamed. The men froze. And then, without warning, her mother's body convulsed. Her skin rippled and cracked like breaking glass, revealing beneath it a face not her own, the one Claire barely recognized, staring back with dead black eyes. "No," Claire whispered. "What the hell?" The spin of the world stopped as her mother's skin tore away like a mask, revealing a monstrous metallic figure. Something not human. A twisted machine with flickering red lights where eyes should be. "Claire," it said, voice cold and mechanical, "you've been deceived. This family was never your prison. They were." Claire's screams caught in her throat. All of it, the inheritance, the lies, the blood, was meant to keep you here, inside the cage rising, building your mind. The machine, her mother, stepped forward, slow and chilling. "But you're not who you think you are. You were created, designed to replace." Claire's hands shook violently, sweat soaking her skin. Her world flipped upside down and inside out. Her father, the cold jailer, not human either. The strangers, agents, guards, protectors of a secret far darker. And Ethan, a tool wired to pull strings she never saw. Her mind slammed against the impossible. "I'm a lie? A machine?" The figure's red eyes dimmed, voice dropping to a whisper. "You're the first of your kind, the prototype." Cold flooded Claire's veins. Then a sharp crack from behind her. Marcus coughed, eyes wide with terror. "This changes everything." Before Claire could speak, the machine stepped back, voice artificial but cruel. "Your memories, fabricated. Your pain, programmed. Real or not, you serve a purpose. The attic trembled again. Dust rained down like ash. "Who am I, if not me?" Claire whispered, the words barely breath. A brutal silence. Then suddenly, the chains snapped. Claire fell forward, free but broken. And in that moment, the attic door slammed wide open. Standing there, smiling cold and calm, was Lara, her sister. Not missing, not erased, but alive, and part machine. Her eyes gleamed with the same black fire. Her smile held a promise darker than death. "Surprised to see me, sis?" Claire stared, mouth dry, everything shattered with that one phrase. Her blood ran cold. The real war wasn't out there. It was inside her. And now, everything she thought she knew was a lie. Who was the enemy, and who was the last hope? The storm outside died down. But inside, the real storm was just beginning. The attic door slammed shut behind Lara. Claire froze, blood pounding like a frantic drum inside her ears. Her chest tightened, air barely filling her lungs. She stared at the impossibly calm smile on her sister's twisted face, the one that held a cold promise, darker than death. "Surprised to see me, sis?" Lara's voice was soft, almost cool, like a knife scraping thin metal. Claire's hands trembled, the chains clinking faintly in response. Her mind screamed, but no words came. Only the storm's dying echoes and the heavy silence. Then everything shattered. A sudden, bone-rattling crack ripped through the floor beneath them. The attic trembled violently, dust exploding around like sparks from a fire. Claire stumbled as the world tilted sideways, and then the ceiling above slammed open. Bright light poured in, harsh and blinding. Panting voices flooded the space. A dozen shadows poured through the hole, armed and moving. Fast. But they weren't strangers. They were the townspeople, the ranch workers. Faces Claire had seen before. Some wary, some furious, all armed with growing fear. "Drop the gun!" one barked. "Step away from her!" The mother machine lunged forward with a cold hiss. But before she could strike, a blinding flash scattered the room. Explosions cracked in sudden bursts. Claire covered her eyes against the burning light. When she looked up, the impossible hit her like a breaking wave. Ethan, alive, but not just alive, different. His eyes glowed an unnatural blue. His skin shimmered like steel, joints clicking with every slow move. "Claire." His voice was soft but hollow, an echo of the man she knew. "No!" Claire gasped, shaking her head, panic clawing through her ribs. "Ethan, what happened to you?" He stepped forward, mechanical grace in his movements. "I was never human," he said flatly. "Just like you." Her mother, no, the machine, turned sharply. "Wait! That's impossible!" Ethan's eyes locked with hers, chilling and sad. "Claire, listen. You're not the prototype. Neither of us is. We're copies. Replicas built to replace her, to erase the real." Claire's heart clenched in a cold fist. Replace who? Outside the attic, voices yelled in confusion. The workers argued fiercely, some trying to get closer, others backing off in shock. Lara's smile froze, a flicker of fear. "You don't know what you're saying," she hissed. Ethan stared down the machine, voice steady. The truth is far worse. The original Claire never left this farmhouse. She's been trapped in the basement, kept alive, but hidden. And she remembers everything. Claire's breath hitched, stomach twisting in knots. The real me? Trapped? So, who am I? Her voice cracked like a stone breaking. Before anyone could answer, the floor trembled again, deeper, darker. A hollow thud echoed beneath their feet, like something vast moving underneath. The ground cracked wide open, swallowing the machine, Lara, and Ethan in a shower of splintering wood and dust. Claire stumbled back, breath frozen in her throat. And from the darkness below, a voice, her voice, but younger, scared, whispered up through the crack. Help me. I'm here. I'm real. Silence swallowed the room. Claire dropped to her knees, hands shaking violently. The chains around her wrists twisted tighter, as if responding to something unseen. Then a chill whispered along her spine. Everything you believed was built on lies. But the worst is not what they told you. It's what they hid beneath. Her eyes fixed on the gaping hole. The storm outside was gone, but the real storm was only starting. What waited below, and who was really trapped in this house of shadows? Claire's breath hitched as the attic fell into darkness, the secret below calling her name. The attic plunged into a thick, heavy silence. Claire's knees hit the rough floor as her breath staggered, short, sharp bursts. The wide hole yawned before her, black and endless. The storm outside had died, but inside, a cold, crawling dread took hold. Her fingers shook, still wrapped in cold chains, dragging the metal with faint, echoing clinks. A whisper rose from the darkness below, fragile but clear. Claire's heart slammed against her ribs, nearly bursting. Free. The voice was hers, younger, terrified. Help me, please. She swallowed the lump in her throat and leaned closer. The cold air rolled up from the blackness, a wet, rotten smell rising like forgotten graves. The voice called again, more urgent, desperate. I'm here. I'm real. Claire's eyes burned. She wanted to drop everything and jump in, but her body refused. Chains held her tight. Panic prickled through her veins. And then, the unexpected. From the shadows behind the hole, a slow, steady clapping echoed. Claire whipped around, heart pounding like a war drum. Standing there, calm as death, was Ethan. But this Ethan was different. His face was pale, almost translucent. His eyes glowed an icy white, rimmed with shadows that flickered like candle flames ready to snuff out. The gun in his hand was lowered, but his smile, God, his smile was a frozen blade. Surprised to see me like this? His voice was low, but every word dripped venom. Claire's breath hitched. Ethan, what's going on? You're hurt. He shook his head slowly. No, Claire, hurt isn't even close. I'm reborn. Before she could blink, a sharp crack split the attic. The floor beneath Ethan shattered, and he plunged down, like a ghost pulled into the abyss. Claire screamed, lunging toward the edge, but the chains yanked her back. The metal bit into her skin, sharp and cruel. her vision blurred with tears. Then, light flooded the room, not from outside. From the hole beneath them, a figure emerged. A silhouette. Tall, powerful, familiar. The dim light flickered over a face that stopped Claire's heart dead. Her father. But not the man she knew. Not the cold, bitter jailer. This was something else. His skin shimmered, too smooth. His eyes glowed with cold fire, black and red swirling in an impossible storm. His smile was cruel and alien. Surprised, his voice rolled out, deep and mechanical. "You've been puppets, all of you." Claire's chest tightened, breath stolen in shards. "I'm no man," he said, voice low, but shuddering with something deadly real. "I'm the origin, the system that built you. Ethan wasn't your ally. He was a failed prototype. And you, the copy, the shadow." The walls seemed to close in, the shadows swallowing whole corners of the room. Claire's heartbeat rattled like broken glass. "What do you mean? I'm real," he laughed, unechoing. Terrible sound. "Real? No, Claire. You're a ghost in a machine. And deep down, so am I. We're more alike than you know." Her throat seized. With raw panic, "No, this can't!" Suddenly, the chains around her wrists cracked again, glowing faintly in an almost hypnotic pulse. From the blackness beneath, a voice boomed, not hers, not human. "I and the Icarus Protocol," it growled. Then, impossible words melted the last of Claire's hope. "You all are versions of me, reiterations trapped in this cycle of lies. The Mitchell family, the farm, the money, just programs to keep us contained. Control to stop the truth, my true self, from breaking free." The attic shook violently as the floor below them cracked open wider. Claire staggered back, heart pounding raw. The question screamed inside her head. If her father, Ethan, and even she herself are just parts of a broken program, then who is the real Claire? And what nightmare waits beyond the code? The attic shook again. Dust stumbled through the air like clinging ghosts, but Claire's eyes were fixed on the widening crack beneath her feet. Her breath hitched, pulse hammering against ribs that felt ready to shatter. The voice, the Icarus Protocol, still echoed in her bones. Then, something impossible happened. The crack in the floor flashed bright. Not sound, but a flash. Sharp, white, blinding. It spread like wildfire, wrapping around everything. Walls, beams, shadows. Until the attic wasn't an attic anymore. Instead, it was falling away. Claire's stomach dropped. Her father's mechanical eyes flickered, his twisted lips curling in a smile that didn't reach the coldness beneath. Ethan's ghostly shape shimmered, the faint hum of circuits buzzing closer. And then, a voice, soft but cutting. "Stop." The attic froze. Time snapped. Claire's head whipped toward the sound. Out of nowhere, a hand grabbed her shoulder. Not hard, but insistent. She spun, expecting another threat. Another cold machine. It was Lara, but Lara's face wasn't what it had been. Her skin glowed, warm and alive. Her eyes weren't black fire, but clear, wide, terrified. And her Voice broke like glass. Claire, you're not just a copy, not a shadow. You're us. You're all of us. Claire blinked, the chains around her wrists pulsing weakly. Us? Before Lara could answer, the attic shattered again. But this time, the floor didn't swallow anyone. Instead, the whole world collapsed. The attic dissolved into darkness. Then, a blinding light. Claire gasped. She was no longer in the farmhouse. No longer trapped in the storm. She stood in a sterile, white room. Walls smooth. Floor spotless. Machines hummed softly. Lights flickered gently. And in front of her, a mirror. She stared. And the reflection was not her. It was someone else. Her eyes widened, heart pounding sick and fast. The face in the glass was calm. Beautiful. Perfect. But unknown. A woman with gentle green eyes and curly brown hair. Skin sun-kissed and glowing. A soft voice echoed around her. Hers? Not hers? Welcome back, Claire. The words settled deep, cold and sharp as a blade. Suddenly, everything crashed in. The farm, the money, the mother machine, Ethan, Laura, all echoes, all lies. Because this was the real world. Claire's breath caught. Her knees trembled. But when she reached to touch the glass, a hand grabbed hers from the other side. A door hissed open, and standing there, smiling like she remembered, only older, softer, was the real Claire Mitchell, the original, the one trapped below, looking tired but alive. Welcome home, the woman said, voice cracking like broken glass. Claire stumbled backwards, chains snapping and falling away as shock flooded through her. But then the woman's eyes darkened. Or maybe, she whispered, welcome to hell. Because the prototype was still in the mirror. And in that moment, Claire understood. The nightmare was not just about identity. It was about choice. Which Claire was the real one? Which future could survive the storm ahead? And who was about to lose everything? The white room pulsed around them. Behind the glass, the other Claire's smile twisted. It's time to decide. Claire's heart shattered. The storm wasn't outside. It was inside. And the real war between them was just beginning. Claire's breath hitched. Her reflection smirked through the glass, eyes cold, knowing. The room pulsed, tense like a held breath. The real Claire stood before her, tired, worn, but firm, grounding. Then the air shifted. A sudden, sharp crack split the silence, cutting through the calm. The mirror shattered. Cracks spiderwebbed outward. Glass shards shimmering like splinters of ice. Claire staggered back, heart pounding wild. The light flickered crazily, and through the fractured pane, something darker slid between the shards. A shadow. Not her reflection, not a trick of glass. Then the voice came. Not hers, not the machine's. Did you think this was all real? It whispered, a venomous hiss that crawled beneath her skin. The shattered glass rippled, warping. Claire blinked, staring in disbelief. Behind the broken mirror, a figure emerged. Not human. No, something else. Her father. But different. Hollowed out. Face a mask of cracked porcelain with empty black pits where eyes should blaze. His smile was crooked, broken, less cruel, more lost. "Welcome," he said, voice thinner, cracked, almost pleading. "Or should I say, welcome back?" Claire's hands trembled violently, fear crashing like waves. What do you mean?" Her voice broke under the weight of every lie unraveling. The cracked figure stepped forward, collapsing the space between reflection and reality. "You never left," he said softly, "because none of this ever truly began." Her chest tightened so forcibly she could barely breathe. The chains on her wrists dropped silently to the floor, empty now, useless. The woman in the white room, the real Claire, gasped, stepping back. Her eyes glassed over, flickering between panic and recognition. "Claire, this isn't a farm. Not a ranch. Not money. Not machines. None of it," the cracked figure whispered, voice unraveling with each word. "This is a test, a memory loop, a construction. You are all fragments, copies, trapped inside a dream that was never meant to end." Claire stared at the broken reflection, every heartbeat thrumming like a countdown. "So, what am I? Who am I?" The cracked figure smiled sadly. "You're none of us, and yet you are all of us. A shadow cast by the original's regret." A sudden, piercing scream ripped through the room. The walls vibrated with the sound, pain-filled, desperate. Claire's knees buckled. The light flickered violently again. And then, from the fractured mirror, a hand pushed through. Not delicate, not human. Cold metal fingers curled, gripping the edge. Then, with a violent pull, the glass cracked open fully, and the figure stepped out. Not her father, not any of the others, but Claire, the real Claire, grinning but distorted, her eyes glowing with unnatural light, half machine, half ghost. She reached out, voice slick and cruel. Surprised? The room froze. Air thickened. "This isn't the nightmare you think it is," she said. "You created us, thinking you could bury the truth." Claire backed away, heart shattering under the weight of the impossible. "I'm not the copy," the figure hissed. "I'm the real sin. The original darkness you tried to lock away." The white room dissolved into black. The last thing Claire heard was her own voice, echoing, fractured. "Who am I? And who am I supposed to trust?" Silence swallowed the space. The mirror hung shattered. But the war, this war, had just begun. The shattered glass still sparkled on the floor, cold and sharp beneath Claire's trembling hands. Her chest felt crushed, ribs aching as if someone had squeezed the life right out of her. The room around her faded, white walls dissolving into shadows, the weight of 1,000 lies pressing down. The other Claire, the one that stepped out of the mirror, smiled with that twisted calm, but behind her eyes, a flicker of something scared, almost human. "You think you're the victim," she whispered, "but you're the spark that started the fire." Claire swallowed hard, the lump in her throat tightening like a noose. "Why? Why play with us like this?" The cracked figure took a step closer, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "Because the real war isn't between us. It's against the system built to erase all of us. and that system is still awake. Suddenly, the white room flickered, teeth of darkness snapping at the light. An alarm blared somewhere far away, urgent and unrelenting. The floor trembled, threatening to swallow them both. Claire's heart hammered. She felt raw pain in her limbs, the scars of betrayals and shattered trust burning through her veins. But beneath that pain, a fierce warmth bloomed, a stubborn hope, fragile but alive. "We don't have to be its prisoners anymore," she said, voice shaking but firm. "We can fight together." Her reflection hesitated, a brief crack in the cold mask, but then nodded, slow and wary. Outside, faint voices echoed, footsteps, shouts, a restless crowd closing in. Somewhere beyond all this, lies and machines, was a chance. A real chance. The fractured Claire reached out, hand trembling like hers, fingers brushing. A fragile, desperate connection. "Then it begins," she said. "No more secrets, no more shadows." Claire's breath hitched. The chains on her wrists faded to dust. She stepped forward through broken glass, heart pounding wild. But just as freedom kissed her skin, the lights flickered one last time. A voice cut through cold air, distant but clear. "Are you ready for what comes next?" Silence swallowed the room. The war wasn't over. It was just changing shape. And Claire knew, deep in her bones, the nightmare was far from done. But so was she. Now, listen up. You need to subscribe to this channel immediately so you don't miss what's coming next. This is the moment to show your support. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and make sure this story reaches every corner. Flood the comments with your reactions, your theories about the ending. Tell me everything you're thinking. And whatever you do, do not wait another second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to know how this epic tale ends. Only true fans understand how crucial your support is. Get involved. Be part of the story. If you love stories about farmers, about everyday life on the farm, and want to know what really happens in the daily lives of the biggest farmers in the world, the hidden stories of the richest owners, and the secrets of the farm girls that the media doesn't reveal, then check out our virtual book with the most famous and secret stories from the farm. Click the first link in the video comments and get yours now. You need to watch this now. This is the moment to show your support, and don't wait another second to share it. Only the real fans get why this matters.